Picture this: you have spent 2 weeks building the perfect slide deck. The data is solid, logic is flawless. You walk into the boardroom, connect your laptop, and deliver the presentation of your life. You finish, look around the room, expecting applause. And instead, you get silence. Or worse, someone says, "This is interesting, but I'm not sure it aligns with our Q3 goals." Then someone else piles on. Suddenly, your slam dunk idea is dead in the water. Here is the hard truth that nobody teaches you in the business school: decisions are rarely made in meetings, decisions are ratified in meetings. If you are hearing the objections for the first time during your actual presentation, you are already failed. Today, we are going to talk about the pre meeting technique. It is the single most skill for moving into senior leadership. It is the art of invisible influence. By end of this video, I'm going to show you the 4-step framework to socialize your ideas so that the time you walk into the room, the answer is already yes. Science of no. Before we fix it, let's look at the data why cold presentations fail. Organizational psychologists have studied this for years. When you present a new idea to a group of people cold, meaning they haven't seen it before, you trigger two psychological responses. One, status quo bias. Behavioral economics tells us that human beings value loss avoidance twice as much as potential gains. When you present a new idea to a group setting, stakeholders immediately scan for risk than opportunity. If you haven't had time to process the risk privately, their default answer is no or let's wait. Second psychological response is the pluralistic ignorance. This is dangerous. If one of the influential person in the room raises an eyebrow or checks their phone, others in the room will subconsciously mimic the skepticism to avoid looking foolish. According to McKinsey, 70% of change programs fail to achieve their goals, largely due to employee resistance or lack of management support. That resistance doesn't happen because the idea is bad. It happens because the stakeholders get blindsided. So, how do we flip the script? The solution is Nemawashi and IKEA Effect. In Japanese business culture, there is a concept called Nemawashi. Literally translated, it means digging around the roots. Before you transplant a tree, you have to dig around the roots and prepare the soil so that the shock doesn't kill the tree. To put into perspective, in business scenario, Nemawashi is the process of quietly speaking with every stakeholder before the meeting to get the support and feedback. This works because of a cognitive bias called IKEA effect. Harvard Business School researchers found that people place a disproportionately high value on the things they helped create. If you present your idea, they judge it. If you present that idea they gave feedback on, they defend it. The pre meeting isn't about manipulation, it's about a co creation. It changes the dynamics from me versus you to us. Okay, that's the theory. Now, how do you actually do this without looking like you're playing politics? Here goes the 4-step framework. Step number 1: map out the stakeholders. Decision maker, the one with the budget or authority. Second is the influencer, The decision maker looks at him before taking a call. Saboteur, the person whose department might be negatively impacted by your idea. You need to meet with the influencer and the saboteur before you meet the decision maker. The second aspect in the framework is advice. Ask for advice, not the pitch. Do not set up a meeting to pitch your idea. Instead, set up a 15-minute call to ask for their perspective. When you ask for advice, you flatter them. If you pitch them, you pressurize them. Step number 3 is audit and edit. When you meet them, show them draft. It shouldn't look perfect. If it looks perfect, they feel like they can't change it. If the saboteur says, "This will slow down my team," you say, "Great point. How can we adjust the timeline to prevent that?" And you then actually make the change. Now, when you walk into the real meeting, that the saboteur sees their specific feedback on your slide deck, they are now the owner of this idea. Step number 4 is whip count. In politics, whip counts the vote before the bill goes to the floor. Before you send the final calendar invite, you should essentially know the vote count. If you don't have the votes yet, better to postpone the meeting. Read that again. It is better to delay a meeting by a week than to present in a room that is gonna say no. Now, let's be realistic. Sometimes during the pre meeting, someone will hate your idea. They will tell you flat out, "I won't support this." Is that a failure? No. That's a massive victory. You just saved yourself from the embarrassment of being shot down in front of your boss and peers. You now have the chance to either rework on the idea entirely or understand that the timing isn't right. The pre meeting takes more time. It requires more effort than just building slides. But it is the difference between being a contributor and being a leader. When you master this, your actual meetings become boring. In business, boring is good. Boring means everything goes exactly as planned. So don't forget to subscribe and like my channel for more practical career hacks. This is Arya Suresh, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.